Let's take up subjective questions based on general principle and processes of isolation of elements. The first question is copper can be extracted by hydrometallurgy but not zinc. Why? Now the reason is copper is less reactive than hydrogen, whereas zinc is more reactive than hydrogen. That's why copper can be extracted by hydrometallurgy, zinc cannot be. Copper being less reactive than hydrogen, therefore it can be extracted by hydrometallurgy, that is reduction by hydrogen, whereas zinc cannot be extracted by hydrometallurgy because zinc is more reactive than hydrogen. Next, describe the role of depressants in froth flotation process. Sodium cyanide is one of the depressants which is used for separation of zinc sulfide ore from lead sulfide. So NaCN forms a complex with zinc sulfide and does not allow to take part in froth, whereas lead sulfide can easily form froth and can be separated from zinc sulfide, or zinc blendy is the name of the ore. Why is extraction of copper for pyrites more difficult than from oxide or through reduction? Reason is in copper pyrites we have got impurities like FeO which needs to be removed by adding flux like silica which is not required from the oxide ore. Copper pyrites contain FeS which needs to be oxidized to FeO and then removed as iron silicate as slag with the help of SiO2, whereas in oxide ore such impurities are not present. That's the reason it is easier to extract from oxide ore than from sulfide ores. Explain zone refining and column chromatography. Zone refining is based on the principle that impurities are more soluble in the molten state than in the solid state of the metal. The impure metal rod is heated with the help of circular heater from one end. The impurities move along with the heater and reach the other end, which is discarded, and pure metal is obtained. Germanium, silicon, gallium are semiconductors are thinly purified by this method. This is the diagram. This is metal rod, molten zone. In the induction coil heaters, when the heaters are moved forward, impurities move along with the heater, whereas pure metal is crystallized again. Column chromatography, as we have discussed earlier also, in column chromatography, alumina is taken as adsorbent, which acts as a stationary phase, and the mixture which is to be separated and dissolved in a suitable component, suitable solvent, which is also called eluent, and dropped from the top into this column, which is packed with alumina. Now, since these substances to be separated have different adsorbing power, so they will move at different speed and will get separated. These are two colored bands which are formed, so two components have been separated. When they reach here, one component will come, so we can take it out, and then after some time second component can be collected, and in this way we can separate the substances with the help of column chromatography. Out of carbon and carbon monoxide, which is better reducing agent at 673 Kelvin, correct answer is carbon monoxide. Name the common elements present in anode mud in the electrolytic refining of copper and why are they present? In anode mud of copper, silver and gold are present. And why they are present? Because the reactivity of copper, silver, gold is similar. That's why they occur together. Write down the reactions taking place in the different zones in the blast furnace during extraction of iron. At 500 to 800 Kelvin, which is the lowest temperature, ferric oxide will be reduced with the help of carbon monoxide to form magnetic oxide of iron, which is mixture of FeO and Fe2O3 plus carbon dioxide is formed. Fe3O4, which is called magnetic oxide, will react with 4 moles of CO to form 3 iron plus 4 CO2. Fe2O3 can also be reduced to ferrous oxide with the help of carbon monoxide, which will change to carbon dioxide. At 900 Kelvin to 1500 Kelvin, coke, which we have added from the top in the blast furnace, reacts with carbon dioxide, which is formed by heating limestone to give carbon monoxide. And FeO reacts with carbon monoxide to form Fe and carbon dioxide. Combustion of carbon or coke takes place in presence of oxygen to form carbon dioxide, and this raises the temperature of the furnace to 1500 Kelvin. Above 1500 Kelvin, Fe gets reduced with carbon to form Fe plus carbon monoxide. Calcium carbonate, that is limestone, decomposes to form calcium oxide plus CO2. Calcium oxide acts as flux. Silica is gangue or impurity. Calcium oxide reacts with silica to form calcium silicate, which is slag and can be easily removed. And slag also prevents oxidation of iron. Right chemical reaction taking place in the extraction of zinc from zinc blende. Zinc blende, first step is roasting is done to convert zinc sulfide to zinc oxide and sulfur dioxide is formed. After that, smelting or bessemerization is done where zinc sulfide itself acts as reducing agent, which is also called autoreduction. This results in the formation of zinc plus sulfur dioxide is formed. Zinc oxide can also be reduced with carbon to give zinc plus carbon monoxide, or zinc oxide can react with carbon monoxide to form zinc and carbon dioxide. This zinc which is formed is impure zinc, it is called spelta, and it is purified by electrolytic refining. State the role of silica in the metallurgy of copper. If iron is extracted from copper pyrites, then FeO is the impurity and SiO2 acts as flux. Because impurity is basic in nature, therefore acidic flux, that is SiO2, will be used, which will react with basic impurity FeO to form iron silicate as slag, which can be easily removed. What's meant by the term chromatography? Chromatography is the process of isolation, separation, and purification of colored substances mostly. These days, even colorless substances are separated by chromatography. What criteria is followed for selection of the stationary phase in chromatography? The stationary phase should be immobile as well as immiscible with the solvent used as eluent. For example, alumina acts as a stationary phase in column chromatography. It does not mix up with the solvent which is added. It acts as an adsorbent and stationary phase in column chromatography. Describe a method of refining nickel. Crude nickel is freed from impurities. First, we convert into volatile compound by reacting with suitable reagent, that is carbon monoxide. This process of purification is called Mond's process. Nickel, when reacted with carbon monoxide, we get tetracarbonyl nickel 0. Impure nickel reacts with carbon monoxide to form tetracarbonyl nickel 0, and impurities do not react with carbon monoxide. So this compound decomposes at higher temperature to form pure nickel. So in first step, nickel tetracarbonyl is formed. This is the common name, nickel tetracarbonyl. On heating, it gives pure nickel and carbon monoxide is regenerated, which can be used again. How can we separate alumina from silica in a bauxite ore associated with silica? Give equations. The process for purification of alumina is called leaching. Leaching is a process in which ore is treated with suitable reagent which reacts with the ore but not with the impurities. It is also called chemical separation. And bauxite is purified by this process by using sodium hydroxide, which reacts with alumina but does not react with impurities like silica. Rather, it reacts with silica to form sodium silicate, which can be separated from sodium metaaluminate. Bauxite contains SiO2 and TiO2 as impurity. The powdered ore is heated with caustic soda NaOH at 473 to 523 Kelvin at 35 to 36 bar pressure. Sodium hydroxide reacts with bauxite ore to form sodium tetrahydroxoaluminate 3. Silica from sodium silicate, which is soluble, whereas other insoluble impurities can be filtered off. Alumina reacts with sodium hydroxide in presence of water to form sodium metaaluminate. Exact name is sodium tetrahydroxoaluminate 3. Sodium tetrahydroxoaluminate 3 is precipitated as hydrated aluminium oxide by passing carbon dioxide through it. So we get Al2O3 into XH2O plus 2 NaHCO3 is formed. The hydrated Al2O3 into XH2O is dried and heated to get pure alumina. Al2O3 into XH2O gives Al2O3 plus XH2O. Sodium silicate is removed as filtrate because it will remain in soluble form, and other impurities like TiO2 and Fe2O3 can be removed by filtration. Giving example, differentiate between roasting and calcination. Roasting is a process in which sulfide ore is heated in presence of oxygen so as to convert it into oxide. Zinc sulfide reacts with oxygen to form zinc oxide plus sulfur dioxide gas is formed. Lead sulfide, galena, reacts with oxygen to form lead monoxide plus sulfur dioxide is formed. In case of iron pyrite, when it is heated with oxygen, it gives ferric oxide plus 8 moles of sulfur dioxide is formed. Copper glans or chalcopyrite Cu2s when heated with oxygen it will give cuprous oxide plus sulfur dioxide is formed. So these all are examples of roasting. So in roasting in general, on heating in presence of oxygen, sulfide ore is converted into oxide ore. Why we want to convert it to oxide ore? Because reduction of oxide ore is much easier than sulfide ore. Calcination is a process in which ore is heated in absence of air so as to remove volatile impurities. It is used to convert carbonate ore into oxide. It is used to remove moisture and water of crystallization in hydrated ores. For example, Fe2O3 into XH2O on heating gives Fe2O3 plus XH2O. Zinc carbonate, that is calamine, on heating gives zinc oxide plus carbon dioxide. Siderite, which is carbonate ore of iron, when heated it gives FeO plus CO2. Malachite is the carbonate ore of copper. It is basic copper carbonate CuCO3 into CuOS twice. This on heating gives copper oxide plus water plus CO2. Magnesium carbonate dot CaCO3 is called dolomite. On heating it gives MgO plus CaO plus 2CO2. So in calcination, carbonate ores are converted into oxide. Why we want to convert them to oxide? Because it is easier to reduce oxide ore as compared to carbonate ore. Even hydrated oxides will be converted into anhydrous, that is, water is to be removed. Calcination is also used to remove volatile impurities which gets oxidized and removed easily.